welcome back to Conversation Way. It's Hass here with the Mark 3.5 Ford Focus. Just going to be talking through today some experiences recently to do with the sticking clutch pedal, where it sticks to the floor, and some of the kind of diagnostics that I've had to do since getting it back initially from a garage and then having to go back to get a replacement part, as it seems that the Ford Focus may be particular to the 3.5 model, but does need particular parts for what was replaced. So I'll go through that as we get through the video. Okay, so I've managed to get a little video for everyone to be able to see the amount of travel that I had when the clutch would actually stick to the floor. And as you can see in this video, it's really low. Like, it is really low. Well, not enough to actually make it stick to the clutch, so it's not slipping, but it was really low. And then you can see as it springs back up, so you can pull it back up, and then it works normally, probably for about 15 to 20 miles, maybe for a few days, and then the issue will come back. Now, definitely, obviously, from reading online, the issue doesn't always come back, and sometimes it's just a one-off, or maybe it'll happen once every 6 months, or some of you tell me that actually you've had this issue for sort of 12 months and nothing else has ever really happened. You just bring it back every so often that it happens. However, I did definitely want to get that looked into just so I could kind of get the car back to normal and not be worrying that it could be turned into something more serious. So I did take it into a garage. They had an initial look and said to replace the master cylinder on the clutch pedal, and that was replaced. Although when I did get the car back, it seemed to kind of not be behaving as it should be. So of course I did take it back to the garage, and they had to replace a part, but it's quite a specific thing. So it seems that maybe some of the Mark III models and then the Mark 3.5 may have had a different component or a different part. So the model which I had to go for was a part number that ends in BB and not BA. If any of you are familiar with Ford part numbers, yeah, that eventually did solve my problem. But I did have problems in terms of start-stop, not activating and kind of not happening. And also the major one was really that when you push the start button, that the car would go straight into crank and there would be no ignition phase. So that was kind of the more worrying and more pressing one to really kind of make sure was kind of sorted. Although I was definitely on the conclusion that it was all related to the one part that was changed. So the part number you're seeing now on the screen, one of them is obviously the official Ford one, the OEM number, and then there is a Valeo number, which is, I believe, is exactly the same part that the garage have used for my car. Okay, so what I'm going to talk you through in this video is the ability to be able to see whether the clutch sensor and the stuff inside the master cylinder is actually feeding back the data that it should be to the car, so that it knows when the clutch is down, clutch is up, those kind of things. Now, what you can see in this video is that there is a CPP top, CPP bottom. Those values basically mean top of travel, bottom of travel, and then there is also some CPP percentage values. Now, I think in most cars, pretty much there is always like 2 for each pedal, just to kind of make sure there's not an incorrect input from any sensor. At least I think that's the reason. Yeah, this essentially shows here the clutch, the CPP, which is the clutch pedal position. That is at 0.5 and 0.82. This actually, when it was the incorrect part, was stuck at 99% the whole time, and it never changed when you push the clutch up and down. Now you'll see from this video is that it actually does change as that pedal is actually pressed down. As an also test, I also do that with the accelerator pedal position as well, which is on the second row, and you can see a D and an E sensor there, which has got a percentage value which goes up and down as well. So that's a good kind of indication that you might have the wrong part if you are not able to see the clutch pedal position values changing when you push that pedal down, and it also will have other issues where you can't set the cruise control, or start-stop might not work, and also if your car's going straight to crank rather than actually going to ignition and then crank. So hopefully you found that video useful and informative, and I really hope it helps other Ford Focus drivers out there determine whether you have a sensor problem on the clutch itself, or whether actually maybe a part that's been changed recently is the incorrect part. But ForScan in this case really helped me be able to actually kind of fundamentally iron out basically data wasn't getting sent to the car, so it didn't know when the clutch was actually down. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you again for another one.